button on the Go to Webinar control panel to allow all attendees to hear you. This system will notify you once you begin your broadcast. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Where can I do this dot? Not able to figure out. Nobody's able to see my screen yet.
You can ask the question. Are you able to see my screen?
Good evening, everyone. Kindly let me know if everybody can see my screen. Okay, I guess we're on. I'm Suchi Gupta with Pure Design Solution. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to take it to the slide mode. Okay, here we go. Thanks for joining us. It's a pleasure to be here and hosting the next webinar. Just give me 1 second. I want to show only my screen and not the webinar one. Okay, we're all set and ready to start. Again, Suchi Gupta with Pure Design Solution. I head the creative and the digital marketing at Pure Design Solution. Thank you for joining us after my last webinar on viral video marketing. I'm back again to answer a couple of critical questions that I hear right at the job front and also from the customers as to what is new that is happening or that will evade the industry of digital marketing. A little bit about me, again, as I said, creative director at Pure Design Solution. I have been a digital marketeer for almost 8 years now. We just celebrated our anniversary. I've chaired the marketing committee at Women's Alliance in the US while I was based there. Completed over around 1,000 projects with large Fortune 500 companies, and worked on a couple of important reports. Currently heading integrated digital marketing solutions at Pure Design Solution. Two things that I come across quite often nowadays is that what are the new things that are headed our way? You know, we hear a lot of terms like big data, cloud computing, to name these two important things, because it seems they are one of the key things that are actually changing the world of digital marketing. What is the evolution that they will bring? What are the kind of careers we are hoping that will evolve in the coming period? So I would like to bring on board with me Mr. Puneet Bhatia, who is Amazon bestseller for Fundamentals of Digital Marketing, FODM, and privileged to have him over. He's been working in this field for over a decade now, and he's written this book, which is basics to digital marketing, but with a viewpoint that is a little different than the basic tools of understanding digital marketing. So over to Puneet. I don't want to take too much of time. Puneet, welcome on board.
Thanks, Suchi. So after this great introduction by Suchi, I will quickly start over with my introduction. So guys, I'm presently a director at Extria, which is a big data analytics company. After finishing my MBA from Bangalore, I've been working for over a decade in digital marketing and have consulted both international and Indian companies with the names like Google, Viacom, RTL, Wiley, and a lot of others. Also in 2016, I was awarded the 100 Most Influential Marketing Tech Leaders Award, which I'm pretty proud of. Then going forward, this year I have published Fundamentals of Digital Marketing, which is one of the premier texts in digital marketing. And 2 years back, I worked on the Indian edition of e-marketing, which is also in its 7th edition in US. My book, Fundamentals of Digital Marketing, is right now trending among the top 10 Amazon bestsellers in marketing. And basically, as Suchi told, this gives a very different view to digital marketing in terms of integrating all the key aspects and making sure that whoever has started with digital marketing or whoever wants to grow in this field is able to do so with all the information in an integrated fashion. So I would love if you can check it out at Amazon, Flipkart, and Snapdeal. Now going forward, we'll start with the webinar, and here it goes. So the first slide, you would typically presume what we're talking about in the heading: App Davis, a PhD student at MIT. Now, App Davis, interestingly, is best known for analyzing small vibrations in video. And what does that mean? Let's have a look at it. Now, so in one of his talks in TED, he was basically talking about how we now have the potential to convert any object into a microphone. Now that's a big thing. Now look at digital marketing and look at how it's growing. Basically, digital marketing, the core of it talks about gaining consumers' data. Now this consumers' data is very crucial because not only does it tell the marketer as to what direction he should take for consumers entering their channels and their properties across the funnel, but also helps them understand in an integrated fashion how the consumer is thinking. Now, what Abe Davis has done, and there's a video which has been shared as a link to you. You can access that, and we're just going to play a snippet of the video, and it probably would be very interesting for you to hear. So we're just kind of getting into the video for you.
On a personal note, we were pretty psyched when we figured this out. But even with the right algorithm, we were still missing a pretty important piece of the puzzle. You see, there are a lot of factors that affect when and how well this technique will work. There's the object and how far away it is. There's the camera and the lens that you use. how much light is shining on the object, and how loud your sound is. And even with the right algorithm, we had to be very careful with our early experiments, because if we got any of these factors wrong, there was no way to tell what the problem was. We would just get noise back. And so a lot of our early experiments looked like this. And so here I am, and on the bottom left, you can kind of see our high-speed camera, which is pointed at a bag of chips. And the whole thing is lit by these bright lamps. And like I said, we had to be very careful in these early experiments. So this is how it went down.
3, 2, 1, go. Mary had a little lamb. Little lamb, little lamb.
So this experiment looks completely ridiculous. I mean, I'm screaming at a bag of chips. And we're blasting it with so much light, we literally melted the first bag we tried this on. But ridiculous as this experiment looks, it was actually really important, because we were able to recover this sound.
So we're just going to go back to the presentation. So guys, if you were able to see this snippet, this is just a 1-minute snippet. If you have time after the webinar, just go and check it out. It's an amazing video.
It's really powerful.
Now, we just want to.
That we normally have to experience.
We're just trying to close this.
And it lets us capture them visually and not.
Just go back. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we're coming back. We come back to the slide. Just a second. I hope you are able to see the slide. Yeah. Thank you. So the idea is that what does this have to do with digital marketing? It's very interesting to note that in this video, what Abe Davis is trying to do. Abe Davis is basically trying to convert any and every object around us into a digital marketing microphone. What does that mean to us? That means that in the future, with concepts like assisted, like virtual coming up, which we have been hearing a long time now for the past 1 or 2 years, everything in digital marketing can now become a tool for understanding consumer preferences and then targeting them with all of the 5 senses, which is a big breakthrough. Because let's say that if you're sitting on a couch today and you're talking to anyone, the couch itself can, has the probability that it will be able to hear you and able to gather all experiences, and you say, oh, the couch is not that good for me, or the leather is not that good. It'll hear you out and it'll be able to draw inferences from that conversation and be able to send that back to the manufacturer saying that, let's say, this couch is probably not good for this guy, let's change something about it. So that's where we're going in digital marketing. So with this, I move on to the next slide, where I'm going to take you through.
Folks, I just came to know that the screen was not visible. Can you just refresh it? It should be visible now. Our apologies. Okay, we'll get started again. Yeah. Okay, it's on. Yeah, Puneet, sorry about that.
Okay, no issues.
You want to show the video?
The next slide. You did.
So let's just go ahead.
Okay. So great. Okay. So now we're on to the next slide. Okay. So here to connect to the slide which we saw earlier. So what is it that we're looking at the buzzwords in marketing today? Apart from so you must have heard from about search, social content, and mobile. But there are other keywords which we are listening day in and day out. Sensory, immersive, personalized, assisted, virtual. Now, what does that mean to us? Does it tell us that marketing is no longer about search, social, content, mobile? Probably not, but surely it is moving beyond keywords and clicks. It's moving to a place where it's tapping your 5 senses. Now, earlier, marketers were able to only tap your touch, your sight, your hearing. But now they're even moving to smell, taste, and trying to gather you in a 5D mode. Okay, and this is very crucial. Now I'll give some examples of it in the upcoming slides. This is crucial because imagine that now there are devices being created which are able to talk to you one-to-one. There are chatbots being created which are able to talk to you, which you can chat, and who will treat you as a one-to-one customer. Now that's where marketing wants to be, and has always strived to be, is to be one-to-one. And probably we are now at a stage with the help of technology where we can go there. So with that, I move on to the next slide. Now this slide talks about the shift from media as a vehicle to media as marketing itself. Now let's talk about the changes which have happened in the marketing landscape. Now marketing is very much related to media. When we say marketing, how is marketing executed? It is executed typically through channels like, earlier it was typically executed through radio, then radio moved on to TV. There's the other part of it, which is print, which is newspaper, magazines. So we had ads in magazines, which we had ads in newspapers, we had ads in televisions. That was all what was it about. Now, from reactive, it turned to interactive, and which is what the phase we were in like a couple of years back. Interactive means that earlier only the brand had the power to tell the consumer what it wanted to tell, but now the consumer got the power with social media channels to be interactive, to talk to the to talk back to the brand, to tell them, hey, I don't like this, I cannot go with this, sorry, this is not the product for me, sorry, you gave me a bad product, I didn't get the experience I was looking at. So from reactive we went to interactive, and now we are in the third stage of digital marketing, which is immersive. Now immersive is something which actually gets to you, which as I was talking about the last slide, it impacts you personally, it impacts you deeply, it kind of understands you as a person. So imagine somebody understanding you more than even your mother, your father, or your girlfriend, boyfriend, or anybody. So
isn't that scary?
Yeah, it's just like it's just something which you won't know, but right now, Suchi, there's technology available, there are tools available in digital marketing which are able to gather even more information from one visit to one website page than what you would ever give in an year filling up all the forms ever on the internet. So we have that much marketers now have that much data about you, and that's where we feel that there's a huge potential to go immersive. So moving on, so we're talking about some of these key areas like virtual, immersive. I'm going to take you through some examples and try to explain you how this immersive is impacting marketing, and how marketers are able to relate to consumers through this change. So now I've just put up two examples. One is virtual. So you have heard these chatbots talking to you, which is easily called AI, but AI is much more deeper than that. But then there's some examples on how technology is helping connect you to the consumer at a one-to-one level. Okay, and let's say there's this chat girl Cortona who knows everything about you, when you wake up, what you do, and then she is kind of reminding you that, okay, yesterday you went through this route on Google Maps, you got late, today let's give you some other route, things like that. And that's where we talk about immersive. Then wearables. So you would have, some of you would have bought Google watches, some of you would have bought Apple watches or something like that. Now this is where we give an example of how it is impacting from a touch standpoint. We talked about the 5 senses. That it's basically even you're getting alarms on, okay guy, wake up and just start walking and just do some exercise.
Isn't Fitbit a great example? It tells you, okay, you go walk so much, you eat, and that gives you a heads up. Okay, I can now eat that much because I walked that much.
Yeah.
Agree.
So yeah, great addition to this. So I think we're all using that. And then you go to the example of personalized. Now I think all of you must have started using all of these apps which help you get more knowledge on the product. Now with all this barcoding available, you're able to just put up your mobile and get amazing data on the handbag you want to, the mobile you want to. And then there are even sites, there are even apps which give you comparative analysis of the brand which you're watching vis-a-vis the other brand which are available within that retail outlet. Now that's amazing, and that's the power of big data. And the fourth one is assisted. Now again, if you look at Amazon Echo, and I believe Amazon Echo is available, that's like, and then I was reading about it, Suchi. So basically now Amazon Echo has a button, which you can embed onto a washing machine, for example, and then as soon as your washing machine is out of tide, you can just press the button, and automatically it will, in the next day it will deliver tide to you at home without even going on to the website and ordering.
Right. It's ordering it for you.
Yeah, ordering for you. So I was checking out, for example, where in reality this is happening, and believe me, with Amazon Echo already coming in India, and I was reading about it day before yesterday, it's coming in Hindi also. So it's pretty amazing the way these devices will take over.
So it's not very far. In fact, we should see people using it by early next year. And my friend in US, who's part of this Amazon Echo team, it has with this virtual assistant positioned in her house, and the entire family uses it. So it's not something we're talking about 5 years from now. It's something that we're talking in 2050.
Yeah, and interestingly, I'm remembering an example in which a couple of US guys, husband and wife were talking to each other, and the husband said something to the wife, we'll order this tomorrow, and then tomorrow you see that Amazon has already ordered that for you because you kept that option open where it could listen to all of your conversations happening in your home. So the button you have to pull it off. Otherwise all the things get to.
So now that's the scary part. Yes. That's the scary part. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll move on to the next slide. Okay, again, now here we're taking the webinar to the next level. So what we're going to talk about is 3 slides which are interrelated with each other. Now this is the first slide out of that. Now this slide basically talks about where we start from understanding the present digital marketing channels. Then in slide 2, we will move on to the technology impacts on those digital marketing channels. And in the third slide, we will take you through that what conspires when technology intervenes with digital marketing. While we need to understand that the second slide, which talks about technology, is fully technology and not essentially digital marketing. People get confused between IoT and big data being digital marketing, but IoT and big data probably are not digital marketing. It's fully the areas which we're talking about in this slide. So I'll just quickly explain you the concept of this slide. So on the left side, you see this guy who is typing something. This guy is the customer, and on the right side, you see a love sign, which is the brand. So essentially in digital marketing, there are only two entities. One is the customer who wants to interact with the brand or buy something. The second is the brand or the marketer who wants to sell that brand to a specific customer. And that's where all the digital marketing areas are confined. So if you look at my book, even in that, in fundamental digital marketing, I have tried to explain in very simplistic terms how what we hear about on a daily basis, search, display, content, social platform, how they actually stack up. And this is what I'm going to explain here. So there are activities which are primarily driven from the consumer side, like search. Search is something, so you would have set up your website, but search as a marketing tool works only when the consumer is searching. So it's on the consumer side.
I want to add to that, Puneet. This is a very good way of dividing this entire thing, the actual things that you do in digital marketing. Like for example, search. Search, if we have to invest on search, now when we as digital marketers work on an SEO project, right, the hardcore or what you guys learn for SEO techniques, it is very important to see how the user will search for your product. What is the user behavior? How he will interact with the product. Most customers that I meet and that we work with are so hell bent upon their products and their services, and they don't see the other side of it. They have to see. So the search is 100% driven by user. It is not driven by the brand or the customer. Just to clarify, brand or the Yeah.
I think beautiful insight, Suchi. So completely true. We look at search from our keyword perspective. We want to bump up the keywords. We want to spend on the right keywords, but we're not sure whether the consumer is looking at keywords in that sense. So very true. So we move on to the second part, which is display. Now display is all the ads, banners, sponsorships you see on multiple websites. Now this is driven by the brand. This is you as a consumer, the only hold you have is to put an ad blocker or just cancel the ad. Okay, but apart from that, all the activities in display marketing are being driven by the brand. Then move on to social. Now again, social, as I told you earlier, from reactive to interactive, social is the only right now we are getting into chatbots and virtual assistant, but till 2 years back, social was the only interactive element which any consumer had in digital marketing, and that's the power which is given to the consumer, and that's so beautiful, because that's where this is controlled by him, not by us. We can put content on social, and which is where the next part comes in, is content. So we can put content on social, we can put content in advertising, we can put content on websites, but essentially the content part is owned by us. Consumer is creating comments, consumer is reacting to our content. Consumer, when we say UGC and all, probably we were in that phase where we were thinking that all the content will be created by consumer. No, if you look at it today, 75% of the content is created by the brand again. Okay, and we are creating more and more content every day.
But that's where the virality comes in. The virality cannot happen by the brand.
Yes.
The virality on social happens through the customer itself.
Yes, yes. So that's very true. Yeah. So so then moving on further, platform. Now again, platform is driven by technology. We're getting into mobile, we're getting into PDAs, we're getting into laptops, we're getting into wearables. But then the platform, again, all the interaction is driven by the consumer. While partner marketing, which again as a term I use for affiliates in my book, partner marketing is driven mostly by the brand, wherein you are partnering for giving coupons, for giving being on affiliate sites, being on classifieds, being on search submission websites, so things like that. So you drive those partnerships, but the consumer benefits from them. Now, in this slide, you saw the present digital marketing, key 6 areas. Now, in the next slide, what we're going to cover is what are the technology shifts which are impacting this digital marketing. Now, take my word for it, these are only technology trends. These by themselves are not digital marketing, but when infused with digital marketing, they impact digital marketing to get onto our 5 senses, which we were talking about earlier, immersive and personalized and all of that. So what are those key forces? Cloud computing, brilliant. The best and the most important technology feature, because imagine that earlier, what you were doing is basically you were trying to take computing to data, from your server to your data, and you were trying to finish some jobs. But with the coming up of Hadoop and Spark and all of these big data technologies, what we have done is that we have introduced. So I'm introducing big data along, because it very well gels with computing. So with so now you're able to take data, you're able to pass data into 100 elements and take each element to distributed computing, which helps you do the same job 100 times faster than what was happening earlier. And this is the biggest shift which you have seen. Why you see your mobile phones working that fast? Why you see the AMP pages working that fast? Why you see you being able to look at real-time data from consumer? All of this is happening because of cloud computing and big data. Now, big data by itself, when I look at it, that data was already available. Why has it become a phenomenon now? Because now you are able to leverage that humongous amount of data because of the advancement in computing. Otherwise, the data was already there. You were never able to use that. Okay. Third is mobility. Mobility means on the go. Mobility means you are there with the customer every second, and that's where the whole personalized experience comes in. The consumer never leaves his mobile, sleeps off with his mobile, and through that mobile you are connected to the consumer. That's where you come in. So at night time, you would have seen Suchi, 12:30, you get a beautiful handbag, something, and we'll be excited,
Right.
I always waited for that in India and see now I have that. So, so those are kind of things which examples come to my mind, when I think of the power of this, and then you will just wake up the screen and wake up everybody. So, so that's the power of it. And then the fourth one is automation. Automation is a big trend, and it's impacting everywhere. And primarily, if you talk about digital marketing, it's impacting marketing automation. Now we keep hearing about marketing automation. A lot of companies have started using that, but you will see this being used even more on even mundane tasks. Like I was talking to you, Suchi, earlier that now Google is able to create ads,
Yes.
through AI. Okay,
yes.
so that's a very powerful example of how ad making can also be automated.
And that is how Google, which is one of the biggest forces right now in ad platforms, right, is using a technology called AI to automate this thing. So it's a beautiful amalgamation of technology into the direct digital marketing arena, and the ads are called UAC ads that we were talking about.
Yeah, you can check that out. Okay. So then the last one is, of course, what we're talking about, artificial intelligence. Now this covers all the gamut of your virtual assistant, your chatbots, things talking to you, you talking back to them, they knowing you, you knowing them, virtual friends, all of that stuff. And this is causing a big shift because, as I told you in the last slide, earlier there was only one interactive element, was social. Now with artificial intelligence, now you have this whole new world of interaction wherein the consumer is interacting one-to-one with a chatbot, and the chatbot is almost becoming as smart as a human. If you look at on websites, I think where we are real time in the world on websites, that and why you listen to chatbots so often across seminars in digital marketing is because chatbots is now at the right point, the exact right point where it has that much basic intelligence that it is able to understand why you have come to the website, and able to guide you into the sitemap of the website to take you where your solution will be on the website, or make you contact the right person, or make them call you. So that's a very real-time thing which is happening with chatbots.
And the reason this phenomena is actually going to grow in 2018 is because one thing that I have realized is when you are doing marketing, the whole idea of, especially on a digital platform, the whole idea of how you are servicing the lead is lost, because once the lead comes in, then you need another big set of people to service those leads. And things like chatbots and virtual assistants and all that are cutting the time less than half.
Yeah,
so real time.
Yeah, so a great example of what Suchi is talking about is, like, for example, you say Uber website or Airbnb. You try and find the phone number on the website, you'll not find that, because that all is going to DIY. We're going to cover that in the next slide, but that's where things are going to go. So so then we move on to this third slide. So in the second slide, we established the technology impact on various digital marketing areas. In this slide, what does this impact do to digital marketing? Let's understand that. So the future of digital marketing is real time. So as I was talking through the example of mobile, all brands have every move of you checked out. They know where you are right now. They know that you have checked it on mobile. You have checked the same data on computer, and with attribution analysis, they're able to. And this is all, by the way, very complex. But marketers are more and more with the tools which are coming in. Marketers are able to do that. Earlier, only bigger companies like Google, Amazon were able. Facebook was able to do that. But now, with technology getting to the marketer, and with so many simplified marketing tools coming in the market, marketers now have that much knowledge that they can at least capture 20 to 25% of what a consumer is doing. As of what Google would also be able to capture. So imagine the power which each marketer in each company is getting today. Then agile. Now I talked about the agile example. Everything is getting to DIY. So there's a huge whole policy, because I work with a lot of companies and I consult them. So I see them telling that we want everything DIY. We want websites to be created DIY. We want conversions to be DIY. We want to build tools which are able to learn when the consumer is converting, when the consumer is not converting, and be able to through code be able to assist that. So that's a big thing which is happening. Third is inclusive. Now brands and consumers are co-creating products. Now, if you see today, you have all of these wonderful apps, especially the clothing apps, which are able to, you can just put in your photo, and then the app itself will put all the dresses on its card onto you. You'll be able to see that, okay, how do I look in one dress vis-a-vis the second dress and third dress. So that's amazing. That's where again it's immersive. Which we were talking about earlier, that it is getting to you. It's getting onto your body. It's getting onto your, it's telling you that, okay, this is how you will look, and this is why you should buy that.
It's super simplifying your decision power.
Yeah. And then the fourth major impact is integrated. Now imagine earlier, again, it's the same thing which I was saying for big data. Earlier, a lot of data was available on multiple channels, devices, and platforms for consumer, but marketer was not able to integrate that. Now, with this technology shift, with cloud computing, with big data, marketers now have the tools to integrate all of that data, create segments and preferences out of that, create the traits, and even know that when will a new subscriber come to me, when will a new customer come to me, which pages will they land on, what will they do next once they land on that page, where will they go through, and how will they convert? What are the top 3 paths for conversion? So if they're able to do that much, imagine the power which technology is giving them. So they're doing the same things, as I'm repeating again, they're only doing search, display, mobile, social content platform, but they are able to do that now with much more speed, with much more precision, and in real time. That's where the difference is. So the technologies in slide 2 are not digital marketing. Those technologies are enablers to digital marketing, and this is what happens when they enable digital marketing. And finally, MVP. Win fast, fail faster. That's the motto today. So the idea is that you, as marketers, can now create mini campaigns. You can now create quick activations. You can now create small products, and you can set it out to the market like a minimum viable product, MVP. Because unless you fail faster, you will not be able to win. And this is a world where you need to keep trying. You cannot wait for like a 6-month product cycle. So I hope with this slide you're able to understand the real shifts, and what's digital marketing, getting to right now. Okay, so now with this, we also cover some few trends and concepts. So we already talked about content marketing, which is going big, which is going hot. Also, mobile marketing is big because of all this real time and personalization available right now. Social media marketing, it's also transitioning in a big way to immersive, to interactive, to virtual. You have programmatic and RTB buying. Now I don't know if so on the left side the concepts are more simple. On the right side you will see a much more technology-driven area. So now if you see in US, 50% of the digital buying is programmatic, and even that is extended to offline worlds, which you would see 25% of the TV ad buying this year was done through programmatic. Earlier it was 100% manual. All of the TV buying, spot buying. Now 25% of it is being driven through automated tools. So
very interesting.
Yeah. So then marketing automation already talked about, and then big data and IoT are again the hottest trends. So these 6 are the hottest trends today. Then moving on to emerging trends. Now, apart from these, there are 2 other big trends which are really shaping the market, and they're very, very hot right now. They're very, very important right now. You can going on. We'll talk about careers, but I think these 2 areas you can also start looking at to build careers. So one is for sure SMB, small and medium businesses. Now, small and medium businesses are important because digital marketing. Because for it to grow as a pyramid structure, it has already covered the top companies, it's the top 100 or 500 companies. But now there are the other 50,000 companies below that pyramid. Okay, and each one, I believe, and when I wrote the book Fundamentals of Digital Marketing, my idea was that this book should be useful for everybody to be able to brand themselves, to be able to get into marketing themselves. And I believe everyone today needs to be marketing themselves digitally. The belief is that if you type your name in Google and if you don't see your name in the top 10 links as you're still not there on online. So
true. And as you said, the top of the pyramid, yes, there are those big companies, but those are many times assisted directly by Googles of the world. but it's those 50,000 and 1 lakh companies that are actually struggling right now to figure out. They do know that digital marketing is the new kid on the block, but they really haven't figured out, okay, how does the entire data can be leveraged for their,
And Suchi, that is where the data lake concept is becoming very crucial, because now, and it will come very fast in the next 2 years, is that every small company will have data lakes within their own premises, and then they'll be able to leverage this data without spending too much of money on that. It will come very cheap, and you'll be able to do it very fast. So the tools coming in for data lakes, and I think they're going to revolutionize everything.
Okay.
Then B2B marketing is again something which is very important, because we've been talking about B2C all the while, talking to consumer, but think about, there are all these companies out there who need to market themselves, and content marketing is going big there, and mobile applications, location-based tracking for their consumers is becoming big, and predictive analytics is becoming very important, because they need to know their consumer beforehand. And that's where all of the predictive modeling becomes very crucial. Now, one last concept is the rise of Solomo. So Solomo, I don't know if some of you would have heard, is the combination of social, local, and mobile. It's not of the three of them individually. It's the combination, which is very interesting. And all of this comes true on mobile. So if you are able to understand social, how to use social technologies and social platforms, like let's say that you're on Facebook, and now if you see Facebook even tells you, the friend you fought with is just nearby you, it's just kind of traveling, or maybe let's say your ex-girlfriend is just passing by, so you would want to kind of reach her out. Okay, so what I'm saying is that there are technologies available today wherein the marketers know everything about you because of mobile data. And in a recent project which I was doing in my company, even I was able to understand this, that how mobility gets beyond web. So anything which you're doing on laptop, it's much more difficult to identify the cookie. But with mobile technology available, and you can catch those beacons, and you can very quickly through the technology, through the telecom providers, you are able to match the IDs very quickly. So it's much more easier once we are using mobile. And then local is, as I told you, where you are right now, targeting you right there right now, and then mobile. So so then we move on to so we have covered a lot more now on the emerging trends and where digital marketing is going. Now we come out to the second aspect of the webinar, which is on the changing role of CMOs and how this. So CMO is Chief Marketing Officer, and Chief Marketing Officer, by this we mean, so this is the highest designation you could reach in an organization in marketing. And why we want to bring this up is that because if we need to understand where we need to go in marketing, we have to see how the perspective of the top leader in marketing is changing, which is actually which you see in this slide, is that it is going from not just looking at digital marketing as small bits and pieces of social here, search there, SEO here, AdWords there, not like that. It is looking at a completely different view of marketing, right from strategy to execution to review. Now, again, this gels with what I have given in my book as the core model, which is the ASCORE model, which is assessment, strategy, channels, operations, and refinement, and which this actually forms the backbone of digital marketing. People take it that they're taking the tail of the elephant, or they're taking the head of the elephant, but they have to understand the elephant. If you don't understand the elephant, then you are not doing digital marketing.
And so correct. Just to add on to it, whenever so far I've come across within my company itself students who do digital marketing courses. While it's great to understand and learn all the tools and the assets of digital marketing, by that I mean SEO, social media, Google Analytics or Google AdWords, these are just tools. You have to spend and invest time to understand the backbone that Puneet has described, and he's just going to show it to you.
So in the interest of time, I'll just keep it quick. So the first is strategy, how you build the strategy behind this, what you want to do, which customers you want to target, how do you want to set it up, which channels you want to go to, how do you want the consumer to go on to a certain path for conversion. Second is the customer itself. How do you understand the customer? You build the strategy. Understand the customer because I believe Suchi, very less input digital marketers give to research. I think research is a very, very crucial aspect where I think there are no profiles in the industry for research, for marketing research.
And I think this term research, strategy and research are true whether you are a hardcore Google AdWords certified person or you call yourself a social marketer. Still, you should be doing research. You need to be building strategy on that.
Yeah, because what happens that you typically get a project, you just start working on it. Okay, let me build the social media pages and all. So we basically start getting into the operation side of it. We don't even know that how the social will relate back to search.
Correct.
How search relates back to content. Okay, so we need to take all these areas together.
I'll just give you one short example. I came across a very crucial line in Google AdWords advertising. It says you invest money on keywords, but you spend it on the search. The term that the customer is searching for. That is where the money goes. So you've got to understand the customer to understand what search he will do to spend your money correctly.
Yeah, completely correct. Then we move on to third is operations. Now this is what we're talking about. Most of the time, all the digital marketers are into operations. So they're either doing a project on search, they're either doing a project on display, but they don't map it to the first two steps and the last two steps. So we come to the last two steps. The fourth one is organization. How does the organization perceive all of these changes? So once you have done the digital marketing, how does the organization look at all of these changes across their landscape and be able to convert those conversions into future potential revenue? And finally is technology. So technology is where again, as we told in the previous slides, it's a key aspect of which should be integrated into digital marketing, which is typically not done. So these five changing areas, if they are organized correctly and looked into, they'll really help transform the whole digital marketing landscape. Okay. Now this is something interesting, for you guys to look at. It's basically a cartoon. It says that, okay, somebody is asking, is Facebook allowed in your office? And they'll say, oh, that's my work, buddy. So imagine the kind of fun and excitement you can get with digital marketing. And I believe I'm writing about it. I believe Suchi is in this area. The idea is that digital marketing for all of us is so interesting and so amazing, and I could write a book on that. It's so, for me, it's so intriguing. There's so many aspects of advertising. There's so many aspects of customer experience. There's the impact of social. There's so many interesting things out here that we believe we could not be in any other place apart from digital marketing. So going on to the emerging career opportunities now, I would want to share with you the T-shaped web marketing model by Moz. Moz is one of the leading websites for search in the world. And so how do you think of a career in digital marketing? This is very crucial because now you see that some of you might already be working in digital marketing in let's say SEO or in video or in display or in social. But then what is expected of you? Is it expected that you know each and every area? Because the biggest confusion with digital marketers always have is that there will be so many areas and they're all related to the customer. All of these areas impact the customer. Now, if you say that in your company you're doing social, are you do you also do mobile marketing? Do you also do video? Do you also do programmatic? So I believe this model really helps here. Yeah. So look at the 4 points which are given on the right side. So basically, this model says that breadth showcases knowledge. Okay. So there is this T model in which the upper part, the vertical part, the horizontal part at the top talks about the breadth. So any digital marketing individual needs to know a lot of areas. He should have the breadth, okay, to be able to understand how search relates to social, how social relates to content, how content relates to advertising. But then in the T joint, let's say the example given in SEO, you need to go down and you need to be specialist in one area, because until you're specialist in one area, you don't add value to that area. You can be a generalist, but being a generalist again in this environment doesn't help because operations and strategy go together. Okay, so you have to know the strategic aspects of how one area relates to the other, but you also have to go down and you have to be an expert in at least one area. You can be an expert in 2 areas, but believe me, to be an expert in 3 areas is completely impossible.
Completely, yes.
Because you know
it's so deep.
It's so deep, and it's changing so fast. You know. So okay, with this slide, then I move on again. So what are the present digital marketing careers we see? And believe me, you know, when I move on to the next part of it, you will be amazed to see, you know, that these are the careers which we see right now. But imagine the new careers which await us. So there's this SEO manager, which people become, you know, PPC executives, social media marketing, content managers, designers, e-commerce management, affiliate marketing, display advertising, CRM specialists, mobile marketing, campaign manager. These are just a few of them, and these are all the jobs that people are working in right now. But then, with the infusion of technology and with the infusion of all the key elements which we discussed in the earlier part of the webinar, what is the future? Now, I will take you through some of the very interesting futuristic areas, digital marketing areas where you can go to, and some of these have already started. So I have picked them up. I have not made them myself. I picked them up from different areas and different websites where there are already people are working on these areas. So you know, you talk about semantic search architect. Okay, so it's so amazing that search is going to a semantic level in which Google is placing emphasis on that your search strategy, the keywords for search strategy should be semantically related. Now, who would do that architecture? You need a person, you need a thinker to do that. No automated bot can do that. Okay. Then augmented reality producers. Now you're talking about VR and you know, virtual reality and all.
AR and VR and all those related products.
Yeah. So there's so much of content, you know, which people want to see, and you know, that's immersive content again.
Yes.
You know, and then third is data-driven marketer. So I was talking earlier in the webinar about data lakes. You know, so data-driven marketer will be essential in every company because you need to understand the data, and you know, you need to build those databases. You need to have those pivots. So you need those data guys in your company. Then chatbot developer is something which is already there. Okay, automation specialist. Now, automation specialist, imagine now we have marketing automation tool, but within those marketing automation tools, a lot of tools are now specialized in certain verticals like social, like search, like advertising and all. No marketing automation tool can be top of the tops in all the areas. So that is where people who are HubSpot experts, you can quickly make them Marketo experts. Okay, so that's where you need to have these very specific people who know that specific automation tool. Okay, then you talk about real-time bidding expert. I talked to you about RTB, you know, which is the programmatic buying and selling. Now, real-time bidding is coming to India in a big way. We are still, I think, around 20% of our ads are RTB. But what eMarketer is saying is that, you know, in the next year it will go to 50-60%. Now, think about if this happens, we need people for that. Then lead data analysis is that these guys will only look at leads. These guys will only look at conversions. These guys will only look at across the channel how the leads are converting. Inbound specialists. So if you look at HubSpot, you know, they're only looking at inbound data.
Yeah, that, and I think in that category, a lot more inbound specialists are also much more driven into content.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's going to be big. Then personalization manager is, imagine that you're a manager, you're only looking at how to personalize my offerings for consumers, how to make it one-to-one. You know, that's a career which you can build if you're smart on that. And you know, that's very complex. It looks very simple. It's very complex. Customer path analysis is those who are only looking at attribution models and analytics. You know, you're only looking at where the consumer is converting, where not converting. The same is for campaign optimizer and IoT strategists. Now imagine everything, every object, as I talked to you initially from Abe Davis, every object is going to turn into IoT. Okay, your fridge, your fan, everything. Your fan will know in this month how much it should run at. Your AC will know that every day you switch it off at 4 AM because you feel cold. It'll automatically switch it off itself or take it down. You know, so everything is going to turn like that. Okay, so you have to understand that who understands this IoT, and if somebody understands that, he will be really up there. So these are some careers. I don't want to give a glimpse of it. And imagine the tremendous possibility in digital marketing. All of this will come true in the coming 3 to 4 years. Then moving forward, so this is the last slide, guys, and then we have time for you for questions. I know we are already running late, but we'll just quickly cover this slide for your help. So basically, this is talking about how to approach the career in digital marketing. So first of all, know the terminologies. Now we talk about digital marketing. We keep hearing that now. The biggest problem with digital marketing is that everybody feels, you know, who gets into this area is that they're a digital marketer. No, digital marketing is very specific. Even after being years into SEO, you can say that you won't know SEO. Even after being years into AdWords, into Google, you know, analytics, into even one tool, I believe nobody can say. I have seen experts in each tool, even specific like building segments in Google Analytics. You will find experts in that only. So it's very deep, and believe me.
Okay.
Yeah. Then second is develop your personal brand. Without that, as I told you, if you search your name in Google and if Google doesn't give you by your name in the top 10 organic results, then Google doesn't know you, then the world doesn't know you, then you're not digital. Okay, believe me. You might be offline, you might have 500 friends, but you don't have those 50,000 friends, on digital. Okay. Third is follow the T-shaped model. We have given you the T-shaped model. Look at it, understand it, go to Moz. It's a beautiful model. Rand Fishkin has given. It's just amazing.
This is the career model, right?
Yes, this is a career model we talked about. Then get certified. We believe that certifications are very useful. Go to Google, get yourself certified. Go to HubSpot, get yourself an inbound certification. All of these add up to your career. They show your proficiency at the start of the career if you're wanting to build a career in digital marketing. Hands-on experience is crucial. The more we keep on believing that we are only theorizing about it, it doesn't help. When I talk to different companies, when I consult different companies, I see amazingly different challenges which is coming. Now there are companies which will only say that I want conversions. There are companies which will only say I want the visitor to come on my website. It's not coming on my website. The other company will say that my products are not being bought on this channel. I want to get people buying on this channel. So every company has a different challenge, and it's very important for us to have hands-on experience to understand what are the different challenges. Regular skill updation is a must. You cannot stop in this industry. Even if you see my slide right now, on the left side you saw those 10 areas which are doing well right now as careers, but who will take care of the areas on the other 10 sides? Somebody has to do that. So you have to update your skill. Grasp underlying technologies. Technology is a crucial killer in digital marketing. However much we want to run away from there, probably we cannot run away. And those who don't catch up with technology, digital marketing will never catch up with them. So that's the thing. Be metrics driven. Without metrics, without quantitative analysis, nothing is going to work out. Clients are asking for it. We want ROI models. We want things to be driven quantitatively. So be quantitative in your approach. Networking makes a difference. You have to network, you have to build partnerships, you have to build models, because this is not something in an island. You can never operate in an island in digital marketing. You have to be there with the partners, internal customers, internal employees, everyone. And finally, be passionate and eager to learn. And that's why I think you joined this webinar. And I hope a lot of things which you heard in this webinar would have helped you.
I'm sure they've already taken the first step into it, and a lot of these concepts may be a little new and raw. My advice is for you guys to feel free to reach out to us. Join us. You can join me on LinkedIn and Puneet as well, and write to us directly.
And I would also say that if you have time, check out Fundamentals of Digital Marketing on Amazon, Flipkart, and Snapdeal. And most of the concepts which I have talked about here are in that book, and it kind of sets up the whole model towards approaching digital marketing. So you can check that out also.
So after this, we wrap up with the questions, Puneet. We will share the link of the YouTube video and the Amazon video of the FODM in the window. So please do for sure check those out. They're going to be very, very helpful, especially in understanding more into the webinar discussion that we've just had. The goal here is to understand how the industry is evolving and where best you can position yourself in the coming year. So we are up for questions, guys. So please feel free to write to us. Puneet and I will be happy to answer. Okay, so please go ahead and write in the question box. I am typing it myself. And I'm missing, okay, Bipul's for. So Bipul, do you have a question? I see. Okay. Yeah. Let's go pick up.
Yeah, so we are seeing a question, or I think there are a couple of questions. Probably.
Yeah. Okay. There will be. So let's go. How do we go?
Okay, so we're trying to see the first question first, so that okay. So I think there are multiple questions asked. Let's just go through them. Sorry. Okay, so we are at the top of the questions. So we're starting with what if somebody missed? Okay, so
let's just click on the
yeah.
What is artificial intelligence?
So we're starting from Norman's question. And then we'll take it on from there, because the other ones, I believe, were the earlier ones where you were not either able to access the webinar or you were facing some problems. So we'll kind of take that on later. So so what is artificial intelligence versus automation? Very interesting question, I believe. So so Norman, automation is all about, let's say that we talked about the 6 areas in digital marketing, which are social. Yeah, so I think we have a lot of questions, but we'll try to start covering each of them. I think we're starting from 427. I think questions started flowing in from 427. So we believe we'll try to cover each of them. I don't know if you can raise a hand or tell that if you are emergently want to get a question answered, but I'll start from the top and I'll try to cover.
Yeah, let's do
most
that.
of them. Okay. So artificial intelligence and automation. Okay, so as I was saying, marketing automation is all about automating only digital marketing areas. Let's say that we talked about the digital marketing areas: search, display, social, content. Marketing automation tool only tries to automate all of those areas, while artificial intelligence is about a programmatic way to learn a certain process of consumer interaction and make it repeatable, and also be able to understand the nuances in a predictive manner, so as to improve the experience of that customer on that channel or process. So
can we say, Puneet, that artificial intelligence is a kind of a tool for automating marketing?
No, it's not a tool. Artificial intelligence is a concept which talks about a robot learning anything which is manual and applying its intelligence to improve that process in a predictive manner.
Got it. Okay. Moving on to next, what is SEO? That is pretty, I think it is search engine optimization.
Yeah. So I think SEO probably is only search engine. Yeah. We can go into a lot of depth in this, but this is like just one channel. This is like one area to improve the search efficiency of a certain website for Google.
Yeah, and then.
Yeah. So then we'll move on in the interest of time to the next one. How to start up in the field of digital. I think we covered how to start up in the field of digital marketing in our last slide. As to, or we'll just cover maybe a couple of more points. So to start in digital marketing, as I shared in the last slide, firstly you have to pick up a couple of areas. Pick what you what you like. For example, let's say that you have to start thinking on those terms as to are you a more logical person? Are you a more creative person? For example, let's say that when we talk about the advertising side of things, it requires a lot of creativity, both on the design side and on the content side. Okay, but let's say that if you are on the more technical side, okay, let's say that you are a more technical person, then you could go into the SEO side, you could go into the programmatic buying side, you could go into all of the side of database development, things like that. So it's so depending upon if you're a left-right brain, right-side brain, or if you are a combined mix, then you could approach digital marketing is such a beautiful area you can approach anyways. So I've just given a few examples. Probably if you can get in touch with me on LinkedIn, I can also give you further examples on that.
Puneet, in the interest of time, again, I'm going to ask you to jump on to this question. There was a question about. My question is, with this recent expected evolution in DM, is there an increase in challenge for freelancers, like in DM organizations will have a huge upper hand?
Okay, so I would believe that you are a freelancer. in that case, if this question. So no, I don't see it as a challenge for freelancers, primarily because, as I told, that there are multiple niche areas within digital marketing. You can go as specific as that. Let's say, are you an expert in one of the, let's say, even in Google Analytics, if you're an expert in segmenting, let's say building segments, you have a market for yourself. You can even write a book in that area. Imagine, like, that's it's so complex. All of these. Or let's say that you are an expert in customer ID matching. In that sense, so I believe every area in digital marketing is very deep, and we're talking to the T model. And if you are smart enough to catch one area and hang on to that and have the trust, over a number of years, you will become an expert, and you will never be competing as such with the company, because the company is working in 10 areas, you're working in just one area. And
then especially the newer careers that you've listed, semantic engineer and all those things, they can be really taken up as a freelance role, and you'll always have a big value.
Yes.
Puneet, let's take up this question. Hello, ma'am. I'm from finance background. With experience, and is it a good choice to shift my career to digital?
Yeah, again a very interesting question. So first of all, ask yourself, what is the reason for you to shift a career from one place to the other? Okay, so let's say that there could be three main reasons. Okay, the first reason would be that you're not let's say doing pretty financially well in a particular area. So I would believe that if you talk about finance generally would have a decent payout. So shifting from finance, probably you'd not be shifting because of money. Okay. The second thing is that interest. Okay. So let's say that you have to define your interest, even if you start thinking before getting into digital marketing, because let's say that what drives you towards digital marketing? Is it the glamour part of it, or is it the advertising part of it? Is it something to say that you love the way consumers think? You want to get into consumer research. You want to get into conversions. You could be more excited about how a product on an e-commerce website converts. So you have to think, why is it that you are getting drawn towards digital marketing? Because otherwise, you can get into a career just because that it's emerging. But then again, you need to develop a niche in that, and you can only develop a niche when you have an interest for that area. So I would say, sit back and first define what is it that interests you in digital marketing, whether it's the right side of the world or the left side of your brain, whether it's something to do with technology or with something to do with consumer, and then make a decision as to which area you want to go in, and then build your career there.
The questions, guys, overall, I see a lot of questions related to fee structure and related to prospective careers in smaller cities. Those are the questions that are more generic in nature, and a lot of these fee structure questions or salary related questions depend upon the experience you have in a given field. So it is very relative, and it is also based on the location that you are in. EduPristine directly would be able to support in terms of the fee structure for their courses. I'm not authorized to give you the fee structure directly. So my request is, go ahead and write to EduPristine directly in terms of fee structure. Thank you all. Right, and please wait for the links in the webinar column. We will be sharing links to the YouTube channel and Puneet's book on FODM very shortly. And then we will also give you access to the video, which you will receive through EduPristine by tomorrow itself. And if you don't, please do write to us, and we will make arrangements to get you the video for this webinar. Thank you. Thanks. I love the flow of the questions that we can see flowing, and hopefully we should be able to answer most of those. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks everybody. Have a nice day.
Bye.